Hi, everyone. Welcome as you're joining now. We'll just let people settle in for a sec while everybody's joining the Zoom session. Thank you so much. Welcome to Experience VCC for this session here. Just got a couple more people that are coming into the waiting room right now.
One can spend much time looking at this picture and situate what we see in terms of context, history, and space. For instance, abundant food and hundreds of pieces of flying fish set in the background.
Right, I guess we'll get started. Looks like everyone has been admitted and let in. Thanks, and welcome today to Experience VCC, to our session. My name is Erin. I'm your moderator here today. I work for the VCC Foundation. We do fundraising for awards and bursaries for student equipment for classrooms, and we run the alumni program as well. And I'm excited to be here. I was actually a former student first in the administrative assistant program, so it's lovely to see all of you curious and wonderful, possibly future students again here today. I'd like to begin by welcoming with our territorial acknowledgement that I'm acknowledging we are on the traditional and unceded territory of the Coast Salish peoples, the traditional territories of the Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations. So here in the session today, we have 4 different, subsections that we're covering. And each of those will have a short presentation by one of our esteemed panelists here. And first, I would like to just let you know that we are recording the session. And also, if you are deaf and hard of hearing and you would like an ASL sign language interpreter, please let us know in the chat and we will grab one for you. Also, there will be a time for you to ask your questions. That's always my favorite part too. So if you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the chat and we will answer the questions after we do the presentations. Sometimes I know you have a question right away, so just post it in the chat right away and we'll get to them. And hopefully we'll answer your questions. We'll begin now. This is the Human and Family Services presentation. Q&A, that's coming up later. There will be a poll. I'll ask that at the end. First, we're starting off with Counselling Skills, and that is being presented by Sarah Murray. Sarah.
And I just see Farzane's question, and yes, we are doing childhood education in this session too. Just want to preface that while you're listening to me. Yes, I'm going to talk about our counseling skills programs at VCC. Our Counseling Skills Foundational Certificate Program specifically trains students to be support counselors. And so what that means is if you're out there looking for work, the types of jobs that you would be applying for would be settlement worker, kind of outreach workers, maybe peer and family support workers. These are at places such as like recovery societies and youth centers and employment programs. So that's the kind of work that you would do at the conclusion of this certificate. So the certificate has 9 courses in total and also 135-hour practicum where you're in the field and putting kind of your skills to the test. The classes can be kind of taken in any order, although there are a couple of core classes, individual counseling, and then some professional kind of preparation classes and assessment techniques that have prerequisites. So there's 3 classes that you kind of have to take in a particular order, but the rest can be done in any order that you would like, making it a little bit more flexible. And they also are offered in the evenings, usually from 6 to 9:30 or so. And there is a Saturday class too. So this gives you the ability to work during the day and then kind of come and do your schooling in the evening. There is an application process for the program. It starts with our basic counseling skills class. And in May, we have 3 offerings of that class, Wednesday and Tuesday evenings, either or, and then also Friday mornings as well. And so with the completion of that class, you have some of the skills to kind of start to move into the certificate program. You also need to have English 12, and then you also need to have some experience in the helping field. So whether that's volunteer or employment experience, but that you're actually having some client contact so that you know what it's like to work with people in the helping field. And so for that, we ask for about 35 hours of that experience. And that you get a reference from the place where you are doing the volunteering. Once you have been admitted into the program, then we need a criminal record check to make sure you're okay to work with vulnerable adults and children. And once we have all of that, then you're kind of good to start the program. In addition, when you have completed this and you are out working in the field and you realize you might like to kind of specialize a little bit, we also have an Addictions Counseling Skills Advanced Certificate. So this is your possibility to kind of dive a little bit deeper into how to work with individuals, groups, families that are struggling with problematic substance abuse. This advanced certificate functions in a very similar way in the sense that it's part-time in the evenings. You can join in any term, same as with the foundational certificate. So you could start in May or September or January. Courses can be taken in any order. And for this program, the courses will all be online. Same with our basic counseling, the prereq for our foundational program. In May, those courses will all be online as well. And you have 1 to 3 years to complete the program. So with that, to do the Addictions Counseling Skills Advanced Certificate, we do ask that you complete the foundational certificate first or something equivalent, so that you have some of those skills and some of the experience in the industry as well to help prepare you. Yeah, and I just see the question, is voluntary being waived because of COVID? In counseling skills, no. There are opportunities to work online and to volunteer online in the helping field. So, so we are still asking for people to get that experience. And when I say the helping field, it's quite broad what I mean. There's a lot of different ways that you can get that volunteer experience. It could be from like a help phone, it could be teaching, volunteering with seniors. I mean, there's a lot of different kind of ways that you can experience the helping field. So I think that's it about the counseling skills programs, but if there's more questions, as Erin says, just to pop them in the chat and I will get to them afterwards.
Thanks so much, Sarah. For those of you who are just joining us now, welcome. This is Experience VCC for Human and Family Services. We've got 3 more presentations, then a question and answer period afterwards. If you do have a question, please feel free to write it in the chat, or if you aren't able to do that, just you can raise your hand and Danielle will help you out that way as well. Also, you have the opportunity to speak with an advisor today if you wish. There's an advising Zoom session on until 5 p.m. and Danielle will drop the link for that in the chat as well. Also here on the call, we have Angela and Jana from International Education. So if you're an international student or potential one, you can ask your questions in the chat. They're extremely helpful. They can help you out as well. So thanks very much. We'll continue on with the first part of our presentation. If Katerina, you could speak now about early childhood care and education. Thanks.
Yes, so my name is Katerina. I don't see the slide for early childhood education. Thank you. My name is Katarina. I'm the program coordinator for Early Childhood Education program at Vancouver Community College. I'm going to talk first about the early childhood education profession. Early childhood education as a career is a regulated profession, which means that you have to be certified to work with children. Also, the institution that offers early childhood education has to be approved from the Ministry of Children and Family Development. And there are certain admission requirements that have to be met. If you go on our website, you will see a long list of admission requirements. The reason for that is that it is a regulated profession. If you enroll and complete our program at early childhood education at VCC, you are qualified to apply for one of the certifications. There are several levels of certifications for early childhood education, and you apply to EC registry and you get the certification so that you can work in one of the early learning programs in British Columbia. I'm going to talk a little bit about the job opportunities. When you become a certified early childhood educator, you can work in early learning settings, which are preschools, daycare centers, drop-in, Head Start, Strong Start, before and after school care programs, family support programs. So there is a huge field of opportunities for early childhood educators. And also there is a lot of provincial investment, and we recently just heard about the investments that are coming up from on the federal level. So there is a lot of invested in early childhood education just because we have the shortage of childcare spaces. So there are many job opportunities out there and the field is growing. So the programs that are offered at Vancouver Community College, we offer the early childhood education certificate. We have been offering it as a part-time evening program for many years. So it was the first early childhood education program that ever was offered in BC. And we typically enroll every September 2 cohorts of certificate students. We have an average of 25 to 30 students in one class. In May, we are starting the daytime full-time program, and we are going to have one international cohort and one domestic cohort. The application time for the domestic students for the full-time program is closed. We are almost full. We can probably take one more application, but the program is already almost starting. But the application time for the part-time evening program that starts in September is open, and we are going to take the applications until May and then do the admission interviews. And if we still have space after that, we are going to reopen the application time. Another program that we offer for early childhood education is the diploma program. So you have to, in the field, it is called basic and post-basic level. Certificate is the basic level, and after that you qualify for the early childhood educator certification, and then you can, it's the prerequisite to apply for early childhood education diploma. It is called the post-basic early childhood education, and that program qualifies you to work with infants and toddlers. These are children 0 to 2.5. and children who have disabilities, so that you can work in inclusive early learning programs. We also have some non-credit programs. Good Beginnings qualifies you to open family childcare. The EC assistant is basically health, safety, and nutrition, one of the credit courses in the early childhood education certificate. And when you finish that, you can apply for your EC assistant certification. So that's basically about the programs in early childhood education. We estimate that by September, we are going to have around between 250 and 300 students. So it is a growing program. And finally, I would like to talk about the mode of instruction and the application process to apply for the EC certificate. You can just fill out the application and send it to continuing studies at vcc.ca. And we are going to have admission interviews. The admission interviews are mandatory. It is one of the regulations coming from the ministry. So I do the interviews with every single applicant. And if you are accepted to the program, and you meet the basic admission requirements, which are high school minimum education and grade 12 or equivalent English level, then you can start collecting all the documents that are needed to be in your file so that you can do your practicum and your field observations. We waived 40 hours of volunteering work due to the pandemic. And the mode of instruction has been online, even though, as you can see on this picture, we have that new lab, the new ECE space on the 9th floor, so that our students can learn from practical experience, which unfortunately we couldn't use due to the COVID-19. But we are hoping to return to campus in September. In May, the mode of instruction is going to be blended, and we are hoping that in September it is going to be in person. So that's all from me. I have to make sure that I don't speak too much. If you have any questions, you can email me. Here is my email on the slide, and I can answer all your questions about the job and about the program.
Thank you so much, Katerina, for presenting that. If you're just joining us now, welcome. This is Experience VCC. This session is Human and Family Services. We have 2 more short presentations for you. Also, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Include the name of the program that you're asking about too. That's very helpful. We will answer your questions. There's also links in the chat for an advising session. If you'd like to see an advisor today, there's one until 5 p.m. Also in the call are Angela and Jana from International. If you're an international student or potential one, they're awesome at answering your questions. Next up, we'll have Sarah Murray, who is presenting on transformative learning and Glade report writing. And as a special surprise, we've got Nancy Nesbitt, who's currently she's the director of the foundation here at Vancouver Community College, and she's a student in the Glade report writing. So she's agreed to give a little FYI about what it's like to be a student in that important and wonderful program. So take it away, Sarah, and then Nancy. Thank you.
I'm just curious which one you would like me to talk about first. All right, cool. Transformative learning. So transformative learning is a set of classes, and they really are about kind of pursuing positive change, both personally and professionally. And so the courses really are about navigating our changing world. So much has changed in the last little while, as we all know. And so these classes are kind of designed to help manage that, help inspire a way forward as well. We have, I think there's about 6 classes in the program area. Everything from minimize your fashion impact to systems change, But the classes that are running, we have 2 classes that are running in May specifically. One is urban farming. And so that is kind of combines gardening tips with business know-how. There are our two instructors have run an urban farm, City Beats, for the last couple of years here. And so they kind of share their expertise. And the students will create both a business plan and a crop plan for a hypothetical farm. So it's actually offered online and has been offered online in the past, and surprisingly is effective. You feel like you should have your hands in the soil, and you certainly can do that with our weather in Vancouver right now to find some inspiration, but it's all taught online with for urban farming. The other class that we have in May is called Mindful Approach to Well-Being. And this is about basically practicing mindfulness techniques, learning those mindfulness techniques, and how you can apply those principles to your kind of personal, professional, and community contexts. The 2 instructors for this class are both trained in mindfulness-based stress reduction and have kind of taken that with what is actually quite a kind of a big course and have pared it down to kind of 4.5 hours to come and learn those mindfulness techniques and how you can kind of utilize them in your life. So that's just a little information about the courses in transformative learning. The email address is on there, so if you have any questions, most certainly reach out to me. I'm happy to answer. And then GLADU. So GLADU report writing is a certificate, and students are taught to write a holistic and individualized and objective GLADU report, and that assists the Canadian judicial system with making informed decisions about Indigenous offenders in advance of their sentencing. So this program was developed with stakeholders from across the country, which gives it a very national perspective, but it also gives you the opportunity to have a local focus as well. The program was designed and is taught by Indigenous educators. It's all online. It takes 1 year to complete. There are 6 courses in total, including the capstone, which is the final course, and involves actually working and writing a GLADU report. This is the next cohort launches in September. And Nancy, I'll ask you if you want to give your insights into the experience so far.
Thanks, Sarah. Wow, it is a fascinating program. It went really fast, despite it, it is pretty heavy. There's a lot of information to digest. And although I grew up in Canada, I did not have a lot of Indigenous history taught to me in school. So it's been hugely enlightening. But I have to say the coursework went quickly. I'm now in the capstone project. I've just been assigned an amazing mentor, so I'm super stoked. I will tell you more after, check back with me after the capstone is done. But it's, yeah, it's something that it's kind of hard to describe because there's so many different factors to it. But I was fortunate enough, I had some criminal justice background prior to the course. I think that helped me a lot with a leg up on understanding the criminal code and some of those factors. But from the Indigenous history perspective and just understanding how, there's so much over incarceration in Canada of Indigenous people, and these reports, hopefully they will be game changers for some people when GLADU factors are taken into account and properly presented. So our instructors are talking more in terms of presenting a person's sacred story as opposed to thinking about things just in terms of, pre-sentencing information. So Check it out. If you have questions, I'll put my email in the chat because, like I said, I feel like it's fairly difficult to explain in a 2-second infomercial, but I'll just put my email in the spot there. If you have any questions, you're welcome to shoot me a note.
And I'll just comment on the admission requirements. Nancy might have some experience with the judicial system, but that is, it's not a requirement of the program. We do ask for English 12 with a C grade. You need to do a letter of intent about why you want to take this program. And there is an interview with the department just to get a sense of who the person is and why you're interested in the program.
Thanks so much, everyone, for your presentations. So now we're opening up the floor to questions. I know that Danielle has been monitoring the chat a bit. Danielle, do you have any questions in the chat that you'd like to read out?
Yeah, I just reposted a question about counseling skills. So experience as a doula, if this is acceptable. Also after the Counseling Skills Foundation, can I get referred from a doctor to claim the counseling fee to government healthcare? I'm not sure I completely understand that question, but I will direct those to Sarah or Emily
Yes.
if you're available.
Yeah. So I can answer those. Yes, working as a doula most certainly kind of counts as the helping field. So as long as you have 35 hours and can get kind of a reference letter from some of your clients, that would most certainly work for our admission requirements. In terms of claiming counseling fees for kind of to your benefits and kind of government healthcare. I'm not in this, I don't believe in this role as you are a support counselor as opposed to a clinical counselor. I don't believe in this role that you would be able to offer that to your clients. And the classes in Counseling Skills in September will vary. It depends on the class. Some of them will be online, some of them will be face-to-face, and some of them will be a combination of both. It just depends on the class and the instructor and basically the content that is being offered.
I'm seeing a question here for Katerina about the class hours per week.
Yes, it depends what the program is. For the part-time evening program, the classes are 2 evenings a week, and each session is 3 hours. And then we also have additional Saturdays, 1 Saturday for each course. For year 1, it is Tuesday and Thursday. For year 2, it will be Monday and Wednesday. But for the daytime program, it is Monday to Friday, 9 to 2 o'clock, and we don't have any Saturdays.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Excuse me, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
From Katrina for childhood education. Is there any online class? Because online class now it's very easy and convenient for everyone. Is there any for September online class?
You know, we, as I said at the beginning, we are a regulated program, and the way you are approved from the Ministry of Children and Family Development, that's the mode of instruction that has to be done. So we have been approved to be an in-person program. And the ministry waived the applications for online just due to the COVID, because they understood that everyone in post-secondary had to work online. So we have done online classes for 1.5 years during the pandemic, and we are still going to continue that for the spring semester. We are going to do it blended, trying to return to campus, but in September, the main programs that are certified from the EC registry, if that would be the direction from the Ministry of Advanced Education, we are returning to campus and we are going to have it in person. We will continue delivering some of the non-credit courses like Good Beginnings, Leadership, Administration and Management, and probably Early Childhood Education Assistant online, but our main certificate and diploma programs will return to campus and it will be in person.
Okay, thank you.
I think I'm just seeing one more question in there. Just to clarify from Jessa, the requirement for 40 hours of experience was waived. And what about the 2 letters of recommendation?
The 40, correct. As I said, the 40 hours of volunteering experience has been waived for the daytime and for September for the September intake, but the letters of recommendations have nothing to do with the pandemic. So we still need the letters of recommendation. And the references are coming from anyone who knows you in a professional capacity. So it doesn't have to be related to early childhood education. It could be your former employer or your instructor. So it could be anyone who saw you at work or in the classroom. But you still have to submit your references to be admitted.
Thanks so much. Do we have any other questions? You can write something in the chat if you wish, or you can jump on your microphone and ask a question too. I don't hear any questions coming in right now, so I was wondering if either of the presenters would like to talk about maybe class formats. That's often an FAQ. With COVID, sometimes things are a bit different. So what are the class formats right now, and what will they be soon once we get to the new normal again, if you will?
Well, I can speak for Glade and Transformative Learning. Both of those programs, everything is offered online. For Counselling Skills, it is for our foundational certificate. It will depend on the class and the content. So it may be online, it may be face-to-face, and it may be a combination of both. For our Addictions Counselling Skills Advanced Certificate, that is also all online.
I can speak for early childhood education. We had to do everything online. Except field observations and practicums. We did pause practicums for probably 2 months, and then we opened them again, just because our students, they really needed those practicums to finish with their programs. So we still have practicums. The students are going on their practicums under the special, we have special, measures and policies related to practicums and practicum visits. For field observations, we are giving options to the students. If they are not comfortable to do the observations in the field, they can do it through the stream of videos that we provide for them, or they can do it in a blended way. But all the other sessions are done online, and it's been really good. We have excellent instructors, and they did a phenomenal job delivering everything online, but we are hoping that we are returning to campus in September, because early childhood education is very much hands-on, and it is very much about experiential learning. And we do have our lab that should serve us that way. And so we are hoping that we will be able to do that in September.
Thanks so much, Katerina. And one of the FAQs for that program is what are the job opportunities and what is meant by a regulated program?
The regulated program means that you have a regulatory body. It is not only the post-secondary institution where the program is located, but you also have a regulatory body that basically approves the program and that issues certifications. So, for example, nursing, engineering, these are all regulated professions. So that means that all the changes that we are going to make in our program, they have to be reported to the Ministry of Children and Family Development, which is our regulatory body. And the ministry is also going to issue the certifications to people. And even if you finish the program and you do not apply to the EC registry to get your certification, you cannot work with children. You need to get that certification from the ministry to be actually allowed to work with children. And it also means many other rules and regulations, a certain number of hours on practicum, a certain number of hours observing in the field. And so that's what it means, basically, generally, being a regulated profession.
Wonderful, thank you. Does anyone have any questions that you wish to ask? You can post them in the chat, or you can hop on your microphone if you like, or you can raise your hand. While we're waiting for questions in the meantime, I'll just take the opportunity to say there's some upcoming info sessions if you want some more information. The Glade report writing is coming up on Tuesday, May the 4th at 5 p.m. The Counselling Skills is coming up on Thursday, May the 20th. You can sign up for these info sessions at vcc.ca /info. Or maybe that's a backslash, I always get them mixed up. Either way, /info. It's also on our website. And the info sessions are great because you get to talk with the people who actually lead the programs, the instructors, and find out a lot more detail about the programs. I'll also take a moment to say that you can speak with an advisor too. If you have an idea of what kind of program you'd like to take and you're just not sure what the steps are to get there, you can make an appointment with one of our advisors. This is the link on the screen here, vcc.ca advising is the link for domestic students. For international students, it's a bit of a different system. We can post that one in the chat as well. Oh, looks like Angela just has. Thanks so much. And I see a question has come into the chat about the early childhood care and education. The question is, will there be an info session for that? Katerina?
Yes, we just had recently an info session, and definitely we are going to have several info sessions in May. But we haven't scheduled one yet. In May, definitely.
Great, thanks. And then the upcoming info sessions, when they're posted, will be on here, vcc.ca /info. So that'll have the upcoming info sessions. And here is the link, vcc.ca /CS. That's for continuing studies. That gives you some more information.
Can I just comment on that, Erin?
Yes, of course.
Because all the classes that we have talked about today are continuing studies classes. So if you're looking for registration information, advising, anything of the sort about transformative learning, counseling skills, ECCE, or glider report writing. They're all part of continuing studies. So that's the link that would be most useful to people in this session today that are interested in these programs.
Wonderful. Thanks. Thanks so much, Sarah, for that clarification. So I'll just quickly go through, I've got a couple more slides here for all y'all. Services for students. There's so many amazing services here for VCC students. Students here are very supported. There's advising services, there's financial aid. That's for awards, bursaries, for if you're applying for British Columbia or Canada student loans, you can talk to them. Indigenous services, there's great services here for Indigenous students. Disability services, if you need some help or some support, they're wonderful. Counseling services, there's free professional tutoring. All of this is available on our website. You can find all of this information. Let's say, hey, I want to be a student here at VCC. What are my next steps? You can attend an information session like we've already discussed. You can meet with an advisor, like a regular advisor for international students. You can apply. Here's the link for applying for regular programs. Like Sarah said, the link for continuing studies like we're discussing today is /CS. That has the continuing studies program information. And whoa, special bonus, if you want to apply today, we'll waive the $35 registration fee. That's for domestic students. So vcc.ca/apply, or maybe that's /. Honestly, I get it mixed up, whatever, you know what it is. The promo code for that is INFO0421, because you know it's the month of April, so 04, today is 21, the date, or the year, also 2 for 1. So promo code info0421, and that your $35 application fee will be waived, which is wonderful. And here's what everybody's been waiting for too, a chance to win one of $3,000 tuition credits. So you can go to vcc.ca experience. The code for this afternoon is INSPIRE, because aren't we all inspired? So that's wonderful. Post the links for those in the chat as well. We have a whopping 4 minutes left. So if anybody has any burning questions, feel free to post them in the chat. Barring that, are there any FAQs that either Katerina or Sarah that you'd like to speak about? Not so much. I think we've covered a lot of things today here.
There's a question in there for Katerina.
Oh, thanks, Sarah. I missed that. Yeah, thanks.
Sorry, I don't see it. The application deadline, is that it?
I think so, for the January intake.
The application for January will be open sometime in September. So it will be open in September, and the deadline will probably be, we haven't determined that yet, but it will probably be mid-November, so that we can do the interviews and form the cohort. So it will show on our website when the application time opens. If you go to early childhood education and click on apply, it will show you, it updates you all the time about the applications, the application time open, the application time closed, when are the interviews. So it will show on the website.
Wonderful, thanks so much. I also wanted to point out that Danielle has dropped the PDF from today's session into the chat. You can download it from the chat if you'd like all of the links and the basic information that we've discussed. So basically what I've been sharing on my screen, you can take that home with you. And also, if you'd like to save the chat, if you had any questions posted in there, you can just click on those 3 dots in the chat and say, save chat. I love that feature, it's great. We're basically at the end of our time here. I just wanted to say Thank you so much to all of you for coming today, for taking the time out of your day, asking so many great questions. It's wonderful to see your smiling faces, and we hope to see you soon, or in person or online at VCC. And again, thank you so much. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you, Erin. Thanks everyone for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just a big hand too, there's a huge team was taken to put this together today and yesterday. So just a big thank you to all of the people that have worked so hard to put this on, and also for all of you that have come out today, because without you, where would we be? We are the future, right? Thanks. Oh, we've got some nice messages coming in. Truly an informative session. Thanks a lot, BCC. Well, thank you, Jessa. Thank you, Jane. And oh, good morning from the Philippines. Thanks for coming in from the Philippines. And thank you, everyone. That's wonderful. This is very heartwarming. I'm going to end the session now. Thanks again, everybody.